Hey, hello everybody, this is Purge, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a game from the defense here. It's going to be N9 versus J4T The Tournament is their team name. I'm a little confused about the players because it is heavily amounts of Panza, Leaf, and Kuroki are both playing on this team, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. One stand-in from Mouse as well, so I don't know if this is... I'm quite confused. I actually haven't heard of this team before. I know the players, obviously, but we should hopefully see some cool stuff, and looks like N9 is going to fix all of their names, which is good, because I was a little confused about the players. But they're sticking in with their standard lineup of Shaitan, Risk, Snoopy, Cynical, and Musica. Very, very good team, and a very good pick. Until Gods is their 6th player, but he is not going to be playing in this game. Alright, for J4T The Tournament, they have Kev, Leaf, Moods, Kuroki, or Kurokai, whichever way you want to pronounce it, and also Mouse Twista, and I need to turn off my Steam. Offline. Alright, in first round bans, we see a Broodmother, an Anti-Mage is what I meant to say, as well as a Venomancer banned in the first round, which is a little surprising out of the Dire team. I don't know if they were planning ahead against what N9 normally plays, but Venomancer in the first round ban is definitely unexpected in a lot of ways.
5 seconds remaining.
People drawing things on the map, which is always fun to watch. With teamwork, they can actually draw an entire person. It's wonderful. Only with teamwork. That's obviously more interesting in the game, am I right? Okay, for the Dire team, they did actually ban a Nature's Prophet as well, so N9 will immediately pick up a Night Stalker. That's going to be their solo mid most likely, and they're going to possibly dominate the early and mid game with that hero, and turn him into a flying satellite, as some players like to refer to him as. Once he gets that Aghanim Scepter, he does have unobstructed vision and a ward-like radius around his hero at nighttime, which is really good, and I think it was a really cool addition to the game, so I was pretty happy with that when I first read it.
10 seconds remaining.
We do have about 10 seconds left, and bonus time for J4T The Tournament, or J4T as I'm going to refer to them from here on out. J4T here, about to pick up 2 heroes, Tidehunter, Windrunner, possibilities, Lich as well, also in the pool, one of the other tier 1 heroes that have not quite been picked up yet. We will see who gets thrown in. They may just try to outlane the Night Stalker. That's another good way to try to shut him down. Something like a Viper can work out pretty well. They love Toby. Too bad Toby's not in the game. It's like they're just trying to rub it in that I'm not here. But who is this? This is Risk.
Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Windrunner at your service.
But he's not streaming, I believe, is what they were saying. Okay, cool. Tide and an Ancient Apparition on the Dire team here. That's going to be the first to pick up, so I expected the Tidehunter. Ancient Apparition also is very good. You can do a lot of good global coordination with him as well. Then we have a Windrunner and a Lich pickup by N9, which I think is really strong. I don't know if I completely agree with letting Ancient Apparition, or picking Ancient Apparition over Lich. I feel like Ancient Apparition as a support could be better in a lot of ways because of the fact that as an underfarm support, he's just really squishy. He doesn't have a hard disable, like even like a Crystal Maiden or a Vengeful Spirit does have. I mean, his abilities are really good, but I don't know if it's necessarily... It's kind of hard to say. I would say he's a little bit... he's a lot more deliberate of a hero than Lich is. Lich's Chain Frost can go badly, depending on just having a lot of creeps around, something like that, so I don't necessarily think it's a bad decision, but we'll see how the Lich impacts the game, especially because now they're going to pick up a hard carry with the Faceless Void, and they can lane the Lich against that, so I don't know. We'll see how much this farms or affects the farm of J4T here in this game. Second round bans, we're going to see a Weaver get banned out here, and as well a Vengeful Spirit out of each team. The Radiant team is going to be looking for another support here. The Dire team is pretty much set unless they end up solo laning the Ancient Apparition. Then we're most likely going to see a second hero get picked up, a second support hero. Kind of curious, N9 did ban the Weaver. Some people would say, why did they ban the Weaver? It's because they're looking for an easy lane hero, and a A Weaver soloing the Dire bot lane is pretty casual. You don't have to worry about him hard carrying because they already have a Faceless Void. And he's one of those few heroes that can actually switch between a hard carry and a semi-carry pretty easily. It just depends on your items. You can go for like a Power Treads, you can get a Medallion, something like that. And then you can build towards damage items. We did see that yesterday in one of the games, which is really cool. The Weaver went for a Medallion with crit instead of just going for a Radiance, like is very standard for most Weavers. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's basically why they did end up banning out a Weaver and why that's not a horrible mistake. The last two bans, we're going to see a Sand King out of N9, fearing that big AoE nuke damage, which is actually pretty good against heroes like Windrunner. And a Puck gets banned by J4T, fearing the solo hero out of N9, and just the teamfight disruption that does bring, especially the silence and the ulti. Puck's a very good hero in a lot of ways. He's not the absolute strongest laner, but he can solo pretty effectively. We're seeing an Enigma pickup for J4T. I do know that the Panzer players, at least, enjoy playing him a lot, and actually very curious, we're going to see a Tinker pickup by N9, which I think is sweet. I don't believe the Boots of Travel buff has been added into Dota 2 quite yet, but either way, we're still going to be seeing an awesome Tinker. Tinker doesn't get played hardly ever, but I think he definitely has viability, especially against heroes like Ancient Apparition and Tidehunter. They're not the I mean, Tidehunter obviously less squishy than an Ancient Apparition, but if he's underfarmed, he can be just as squishy as an Ancient Apparition at times. So laser and missile combos, they can work out really good against tri-lanes if you gank a tri-lane, something like that, or even ganking dual lanes. Tinker can do pretty awesome stuff in lane, but we'll see where he ends up laning. He might end up being bottom for N9. We might just be seeing a dual lane. I'm expecting, I guess, a tri-lane out of them, a Windrunner, Lich, Earthshaker tri-lane is what I'm expecting to see. And Tinker probably going to solo, and Nature's Prophet, Night Stalker going to solo. So we'll probably expect a Night Stalker on the bot lane, Tinker mid, and then that tri-lane to go top for N9. So their lanes are kind of easy to point out. We might see a 2-lane. We might see like Windrunner, Lich top, which would be cool, and maybe like Earthshaker roaming against solo Tinker, Night Stalker. I think that might be a little bit better. But Dire Team going to change it up as well. They're picking up a Pudge here this game, which is pretty crazy, but Pudge working out pretty good against Tinker. If he can get the hook off, has a generally easy time, assuming he can eat the burst nukes. If he can eat the burst nukes, there's no way Tinker's going to get away, basically, and Pudge can just rot to death. So it's a weird game. Tinker and the Pudge going to change it up quite a bit. All the other heroes very, very standard here. But even still, I'm pretty excited to watch how the game turns out because of those two weird picks. Could go either way. I thought J4T was going to be a complete unknown with weird players who I'd never heard before, but I've seen Leaf and Kuroki play tons of times, and they're both very, very talented players. So, and N9 as well, I've seen them play as a team. I don't know how well J4T will perform in as a result, because they don't actually have a good team environment, or at least they haven't played very regularly together, but I don't know, we'll see. It's a lot of German players I hear, so I don't know. I'm excited to see how the game goes. Game will get started. Here we go. There's a little bit of pause. Apparently N9 is not quite ready. One of their players apparently is AFK. Musica is apparently AFK. So we can go over the players quick. Black Shaitan is going to be playing the Tinker. Cynical is Earthshaker. Risk is going to be on the Windrunner. We have Snoopy on the Lich. Musica will be playing the last hero, which was a Night Stalker. That is for N9, the generally Australian team. I know some of the players, I believe Risk is from New Zealand. One of them. I know they're not all Australians. That's all I know. Excuse me for not knowing everything. For the Dire team here, Kuroki is actually going to be playing the Pudge, which I did not expect. Leaf is going to be on the Faceless Void. Kev is playing the Enigma. Moods is on the Tidehunter. And Mao's Twista is going to be playing the Ancient Apparition. So I don't think I've ever seen Kuroki play more of a hero like this. Usually he sticks to solo or semi-carry heroes. I've seen him play a lot of Storm Spirit, Lifestealer, hard carries, stuff like that. But a Pudge I'm not used to, but I'm sure he plays Pudge well, since he does get the pickup. And Leaf is going to be doing their hard carry here, playing the Faceless Void. Their lane's most likely going to see Pudge mid. This will be their tri-lane of the Void, Tidehunter, and Ancient Apparition, and then probably Enigma soloing bottom. His eyes are a little messed up here. Pulled his eyes out of his face. It's kind of weird. Radiant team is ready to go. Is the Dire team ready? And here we go. Game is going to be underway. Wait. Oh, nope. Nope. Almost. Let's look at the gold difference graph. It's surprisingly in the Dyer's favor. I don't know why that shows that way. I don't know. That's very weird. It's probably some like little bug. I don't know if any of them bought their items yet. I know they don't have. Okay, yeah. They haven't picked their last hero, so technically their gold is probably 600 off or something about that. I don't know. The numbers are really weird at the start of the game. These numbers are alright. I've seen those be really weird as well. Or if we look at this one. Oh wow, that's actually normal. I've seen like gold earned be unusual numbers before. Alright, and there we go. Musica picking up his Night Stalker. Then we will see the lanes. Looks like they're going to 5-man swing towards top lane and do some quick warding. And Tinker, interesting item build. 1 Clarity Potion as well. Not opting for the double mantle. It seems to be the most common Tinker build, but in the mid game this ends up getting wasted because very few Tinkers now will build up 2 Null Talismans, since you can get 1, and there's so many other good low cost items. And Earthshaker going very bare bones here with Sentry Wards, double Clarity Potion, and a Tango. Risk looking like he's going to solo for absolute sure. And Lich playing more of a solo, maybe a support lane, but we'll see. Oh wow, actually we're going to see both teams run into each other. There's the smoke going away. Tidehunter's going to initiate Lich eating the first nuke. There's the laser. I haven't seen a 5v5 teamfight in a long time. The disable goes on Lich. He will be first blood. Tidehunter falls immediately afterwards. Who are they going to go on next? Croaky does get disabled. He's in a little bit of trouble. But are we going to see follow-up voids? I think Musica wants to get this kill, but he will disable the salve, and that could be it for Night Stalker. Night Stalker will die, and yes, he is going to go down, but Ancient Apparition... Is he still alive? Okay, he's still alive, but he finally drops 2 for 2. Now going after the Enigma. Big shackle shot on the Enigma. Enigma is definitely going to die there. And so far, N9 taking advantage here in this team fight. Very, very uncommon start of the game here. Almost never do we see teams do a 5-man smoke at level 1. It was very common when smoke ganks first came out, but then teams basically started predicting that, and they just never ran into that. So Lich here going to go drop his wards down. Maybe that's why they wanted to smoke here. They really wanted to make sure that they were going to get assure that they weren't going to get the Observer Ward warded, but we do have Sentry Wards on the Tidehunter, so either way they're going to be able to stop that warding. There's a little bit of pinging down, and there he's going to be looking for that Sentry Ward, but he will run into it right there, and then the Observer Ward is destined to die, so they're going to have to wait a couple minutes before that's useful. Croaky swings to the mid lane. He's about half. He actually spent a lot of his mana there. He did spend his salve to not die, and this is really going to affect his laning here in the mid game. So, is it going to be worth it? They did get a lot of gold. There's a lot of weird gold going around everywhere, so there is that indifference. Who got the kills, though, is the important part. Pudge did get 1 kill. Faceless Void got the other kill. Definitely 2 good heroes to get kills on, with support heroes dying, which isn't a big deal. And on the Radiant team, Tinker, Windrunner, and Earthshaker getting kills with Night Stalker and Lich dying. It's not too important that you die necessarily, unless you get a kill first and then die, which it doesn't look like happened anywhere. Ancient Apparition picking up 2 assists. So that will get Pudge to his bottle really fast here. He did get a kill despite using all of his regen here. Would it have been worth it for him to just not pop his salve? It's hard to say, but Musica is definitely going to be outlaning him in the short term. He's actually already at a level advantage at level 3 currently. And on the bot lane, Tinker is going to be laning against Enigma, who's constantly going to be denying creeps. He's going for the fast soul ring using that Clarity Potion. Definitely very wise. And Risk on the top lane, going to go for that Basilius as fast as possible. But Faceless Void is now level 3. Tidehunter doing a little bit of pulling. It's actually a stack pull. The only downside is that the Satyr creep spawns are a little bit weaker. Are these icons new? Did they even have these before? I feel like I've never looked at the Satyr Trickster model before. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows? Tide not doing the best job CSing here. He's going to miss a couple creeps, but the creep wave is dead, so that's going to reduce the CS going to Snoopy and Risk. But Lich still doesn't have a level 2 here. He actually just got back to the top lane. Apparently he ran somewhere to ward, and really peculiar that he hasn't gotten any EXP at Sh10 on the bot lane. He's going to be leveling up absolutely fine. Will possibly be stealing kills from the Eidolons. They are pretty good gold and farms, so if he can pick those up, it's kind of a nice little pickup. We will see. You have to be very careful as an Enigma, though, and they're going to get denied. Nice play by the Enigma. Going to deny those. And there's a laser going on the Enigma. Oh, how unfortunate Fissure coming out of Cynical. I'm going to catch him on the other side, so that's going to be an ineffective Fissure. Lich roaming around still does not have Sacrifice. That's such a big deal. The fact that he had to skill his nuke at level 1 when they were ganking, and then to make matters worse, he didn't get to cast the spell. And, you know, that could have been like 5 or 6 creeps so far that Faceless Void wouldn't be able to get as a result of having sacrifice. So he basically has to steal EXP here from the Windrunner and continue dual laning here. On the bright side, Void won't be getting free farm because they have a double range, but you know, kind of an unfortunate loss to N9 so far in the early game. Pudge surprisingly still does not have a bottle. I assume he's bottle crowing, and yes, there's his bottle. I assume he's had that already since he has that 570 gold. And he's using his rot effectively just to pick up those last CSs. That would be a little too dangerous for him to grab. Lich about to level 2. Here it comes. There we go. Here comes the sacrifice train. Starting it off right. Sacrifice finally going down, and Leaf will from here on out gonna have a little bit of trouble getting EXP. He does look like he's maxing out backtrack first. I think this is really smart. He doesn't actually have a shield yet, which is going to be a little problematic, especially against the double range lane. And he's going to need that backtrack to reduce some of the damage being done to him. Looks like the Earthshaker continuing to pull here. He's actually up to level 3, which is pretty good, considering some of his experience was definitely gotten in the early team fights. Windrunner's up to level 4, and if we look at the CS totals, since we have a semi-boring game so far, 13 on the Tinker, 9 on Windrunner, 18 on Night Stalker, 18 on Void, 8 on Enigma, 13 Pudge, and 0 on Ancient Apparition. So it looks like the gold advantage a little bit in the Radiant team. They did get a lot more kills apparently, but then dropped down as some of their heroes died. So the farm is slightly going in their favor, which I think makes sense. Faceless Void still not having the best time in this laning situation. He's basically soloing against 2 ranged heroes, one of which is Lich, which makes a big deal. And we actually get a kill on the bot lane, which I miss. It's going to be laser missiles with a fissure from Earthshaker. That's a lot of burst damage, and the nice thing about Earthshaker's stun is it's a long range, so if you see him coming, you don't have as much reaction time, compared to even like a ranged hero with a disable. So one cool thing about Earthshaker, and of course the laser missile does a lot of damage. 240 here, that's pure by the way, the laser does pure damage. And missile doing 175, and that pretty much hits no matter what, unless the enemy has like a phase shift or a blink dagger or something like that. Pudge now with Invis-Rune probably going to be waiting until 6 before he does any kind of ganking, and Musica actually has to be very careful now. He does have the level 6 Dismember, so I mean it's a lot of rot damage. His HP is kind of low, so I feel like Musica could be a little more aggressive. But it's not going to impact the game by a huge amount. He's going to be actually a lot more level than he normally is as a result of that really early team fight. It's actually kind of changing the game up in a lot of ways. Like I said, I pointed out that Pudge had way more gold than he was supposed to, but his regen was all gone, so then it didn't really even matter. It's kind of a bunch of weird situations resulting from all these early kills and EXP gains. So Night Stalker is actually going to be like level 7, maybe level 8. Probably not level 8 by the time that he ends up going for ganks at nighttime. And Kuroki trying to get a Rot Dismember off, but not going to catch it. Good reaction time from Musica, and especially with Ancient Apparition there, that would have been a mostly surefire kill against Night Stalker. I don't know if Earthshaker would have had the fissure ready or not. I don't know if he was quite in position, but are we going to see a gank going on the top lane? Maybe. Are we going to see a level 6 Void? We might see the no Chronosphere. Good shackle shot from the Windrunner. He doesn't look like he's going to go for it. He doesn't even have power treads or anything yet. Faceless Void definitely a little underfarmed, and Tidehunter himself actually going to take a lot of damage. Night Stalker bottling Illusion. They're going to actually catch the Ancient Apparition. Easy pick off unless he can suicide to Rosh. It's going to be close. Kuroki actually tried to get the hook off, which could have saved him for sure, but Ancient Apparition auto-attacked on the Roshan, and that made him stop moving, so Kuroki did not predict that. And that could have been a save. A little bit of miscommunication between those guys. Ancient Apparition thought his solution was the suicide on Roshan, but he ends up getting killed.
Illusion.
Now it is nighttime, level 7 on the Night Stalker. He's going to be outlaning the crap out of this Pudge. Pudge will be ganking though with that Invisibility Rune. If he can get a Dismember off on Windrunner, this is going to be it for Windrunner. And here comes, there's a Dismember. Still no Rot, very surprising. He spent his time, did not want to Rot quite away because he wanted to pop his bottle at the same time, which I think was a smart plan. But in the meantime, Tinker getting a kill on the bot lane against Enigma. Enigma once again going down, and he's going to pick up some of these Eidolons here if Enigma's not careful. He does not actually even get any of them because they were timing out. So there's the Salve pop on Tinker. He's got to keep farming towards that Boots of Travel, and they don't currently have any Rune Sight. There's a Boots and a Magic Wand. TeamSpeak apparently died for the Dire team, so they're going to have to pause the game up here. And it looks like we have a little bit of chase going on in the Ancient Apparition. These are all Night Stalker illusions on the mid lane. I'm not quite sure if he's aware of this, but this looks really dangerous for him. He's bottling up. His HP is going to be mostly full. His Void is level 4, 335 damage, a nuke, and that's an 8-second cooldown, so we're looking at 2 nukes and a little bit of hits on the Ancient Apparition. He's dead. I can tell you that right now. Unless he does some crazy epic juking here, there's literally no chance. He's got 5 Tangos, a Salvo Wand, and 2 bottle charges. The poor Ancient Apparition. The poor Ancient Apparition. Pudge will be roaming back toward mid. Curiously, going for a phase boot's going to be really aggressive here. Not opting for arcane boots, not opting for power treads. Power treads, I think, is a bad item build, but it's kind of arcane boots or phase, depending on what you want to make out of the Pudge. And if he does have good bottle roaming, he can end up having enough mana due to just the bottle. He doesn't necessarily need arcane boots. Let's look at that gold graph. Jumping up towards the Radiant team, they are farming better. Their top lane is superior. Despite Windrunner just dying to invisibility rune, that happens. It's got a Lich Windrunner lane against a hard carry, which is really good. You always want to lane a semi-carry with a Lich, preferably a ranged semi-carry with a Lich, if you want to shut down that melee carry. Works out really, really good for that. We actually have a ping from Pudge. I think he's assuming maybe that Night Stalker is up here instead, since those illusions are mid. I'm not really sure what the movement vision was, but once again, this Ancient Apparition, he's going to die, man. He's not going to make it. Alright, let me check chat really quick while we're hanging out. Has there been no chat channels? Wow, absolutely nobody has talked in chat since I've been here, unless it crashed a long time ago. 21. My IRC might have died a long time ago. Let me see. I'm gonna refresh my chat. Oh, there's a resume and a pause. Ooh, looks like Night Stalker accidentally... Oh no, okay, there's the nuke. He's gonna be chasing, there's the fear as well. Illusions are coming through. He might actually block him in. He's actually blocking himself with his own illusions, which is kind of funny. But he has vision of him, and there's the easy pickup. I'll figure out the chat afterwards. I assume it crashed and did not tell me. I've had it open for over 24 hours. Swinging to the bot lane now, going to be ganking on the Enigma again in case he didn't have it hard enough. It is nighttime. Is Enigma going to get terrified? We're going to have at least one rocket coming out of Black Shaitan the Tinker, and he is playing semi-safe here. Nice, good place to hide. Night Stalker thinking about coming out. There's the Eidolons. They will see the Eidolons, and that tells them that Enigma is there. I think they're going to look for him. If they can find this Enigma, he goes right for him. Oh, he spots him. That's it for Enigma. There's the laser. There's the Void, and definitely going to die. And Tinker gets the last hit. Now they just have to kill these Eidolons, which will be easy gold. Going to pick up one of those, and the tower actually drops as well, so big pickup there for N9. Using that Night Stalker effectively. Top tower in a little bit of threat, but they don't have a ton of pushing, and they're just kind of looking for a gank. Pudge wanted to get a hook off, have Tynester there to gush as well, but they're not going to score it, so they will pick up an illusion rune instead. Croaky now swinging towards the mid lane. Bot lane is still really aggressive, though. The ganking and team fight coming out of the Radiant team is just a lot heavier than the Dire team. The Dire team has a lot of team fight. Enigma ulti, Void ulti, Tide ulti, and AA ulti, all so good for team fights. But the early game ganking coming out of N9 is just so superior. Tinker is such a strong ganker early. The nuke damage is ridiculous. They do have Chain Frost, but that's about it for big ultis in team fights. Enigma's ulti not going to help out a whole lot until he ends up hitting, getting a Blink Dagger. And Void gets picked off on the top lane, ganked by that Silence. Silence is so useful, guys. 5-second silence on a hero like Void will make the difference. And it looks like Lich contributed with Frost Blast. We saw a power shot. I'm not sure if we had a Shackle or not, but it was just a level 1. Either way, the gank happened. Void gets picked off, and N9 is in a big advantage right now. Croaky will have to back off from the mid lane despite doing damage to the tower. And it looks like our Ancient Apparition is smoked up. Looking to contribute if possible. Once again, he's playing a support role. This is his only tank item. He has one Ironwood branch to his name. He is only level 4. He doesn't have an ulti. And there's the Dismember. Are we going to see the cold feet? It's a little slow. And Musica is going to get away there. He is actually going to dodge the hook as well. So a little slow reaction time by the Ancient Apparition. I don't think Pudge was expecting to just get a run-up Dismember. But nicely done by Musica. He actually went outside of Rot range. So Rot ended up not producing anything really good. And Tinker gets another kill on Enigma here. Tinker not having, or Enigma not having a good time. It sucks to play that position when you're laning on the bot lane and you get a fissure and then the nukes and then you die. Laser Missile Man does a lot of damage, and then with one fissure from that guarantees you the kill. And he's actually got Arcane Boots. Earthshaker doing very good this game, playing his role correctly, which is playing as a gank role and just essentially helping allies get kills that the enemies don't expect to see coming. And he's going to fissure this group up, I assume. At least he's thinking about it. 240 HP, and his nuke does 275. So yeah, definitely. And there it is. Clearing up creep waves. It's so nice to get farm like that on an Earthshaker, especially when your allies leave the lane, just solo farm for a while. He's going to have a lot of level advantage, more than an Earthshaker normally would, and he's actually going to be getting close to his Blink Dagger. He's at 500 gold right now. He's had a good early game. It's 10 minutes, and he has Arcane Boots, which is very good. And if he can get up a Blink Dagger, it's going to be huge. There's the power shot. Here comes the slow and the fear. There's the fear first. There's the slow. Tinker missile coming in. He does backtrack it. That is so huge. Are they going to be able to get him before the fear? No! He time walks out. The backtrack on the missile is so huge. Leaf stays alive, all because of that backtrack. That changed everything. I heard a Malefice going down. It was on the Night Stalker, looking for allies as well. Invisible Pudge. He's going to have a hook in 2 seconds. He's going to catch somebody. I just know it. Here comes the hook. He catches Risk. They were just way too clumped up for that not to happen. The missile comes through. Leaf does not dodge that one, but gets lucky. And that gank chase. They've got to be upset about that one. I don't know if he backtracked any of the other spells, but he backtracked that important one. That was going to surely get his death. Night Stalker wanted to pick up a kill in the mid lane. He's actually going to go for a really fast Aghanims, opting not to get a Vanguard first. And will he salve up? Yes, he will. He's going to salve up. A lot of dire movement on the mid lane. Faceless Void still very underfarmed here, but once again, the Radiant team doesn't have a hard carry. It depends. If Tinker can farm a really fast Blink Dagger, or a really fast Sheep Stick, he can be used very effectively to shut down the Faceless Void. And right now, he's probably just going to swing lanes, cast lots of missiles, and continue farming. We'll see if he can get a chain to nuke off. He's probably thinking about it, especially with the Night Stalker here. They're waiting for it. Here it goes. There's the fear. There's the nukes. First nuke hits. We need a laser to go through backtrack. It does go through, but Night Stalker now getting ultied on. And Faceless Void changing direction. He's going to ulti and guarantee the kill on the Night Stalker. But the arrow comes through. Wow, Rocket does get backtracked once again on Faceless Void. Really unfortunate situation for Musica. Gets picked off. Haste picked up, trying to pick off the Pudge. Pudge is in a lot of trouble here. Can he rot himself to death? That's what it's going to come down to. He tries to get it. He does get the suicide. Lucky for him. Stout Shield being effective. Tinker coming back towards the mid lane. There's the Rocket going after Leaf. It's going to do a lot of damage. He does time walk through, and a laser on the creep. Ancient Apparition ulti coming through. It's going to land on 2 heroes, but not going to score them any kills. And Shatan will immediately swing back to his base, healing back up. This is why Tinker's so powerful, guys. Using Bottle and Rearm. Gets him very, very healed up. He's going to swing to the top tower now, trying to save that against the Enigma. Enigma's creeps are there. He's going to shoot 1 rocket, just do a little bit of damage to Enigma, and he does not get the last hit. Wow, Eidolons actually get the last hit. Big mistake there by the Shatan. It is hard to last it against that many Eidolons, though. It's understandable. And Earthshaker continuing to farm. He's up to 1,500 gold. Now, another reason that N9 is farming this Earthshaker, once again, they don't have a hard carry. So what they need to do is basically get a lot of advantage in the early game. So if Earthshaker last hits really effectively down here on these creeps, he's going to pick up a Blink Dagger in the next 2 or 3 minutes. And once he does have that, all of a sudden, they have a lot more teamfight contribution. They're going to have a big ulti coming through. And Pudge is going to try to gank him, surprisingly. Trying to gank the solo Earthshaker. If he can get a hook off, he probably doesn't know that he's there. And it's going to be a hard hook. He might have to swing around the back. They're going to wait for the Tidehunter to come up for a gush, I think. And once the gush comes off, I think Earthshaker's going to be hard-pressed to survive this. We will get support TPs. There comes the Tidehunter. Unfortunately, nice play. I think he did spot the Pudge, and all of a sudden he is running back. If he gets hooked, this is him dying. A nice dodge by Cynical. Nothing Pudge can do at this point. That was his only chance. Rockets are coming through. It's going to land, especially on the Tidehunter, taking a lot of damage, and he doesn't have any regen himself. And Pudge is going to have to walk away, so good escape there by Cynical. That was a huge dodge. If that hook would have landed, that would have been a lot of gold. Detriment to the Earthshaker, and means his Blink Dagger would have been much later. There's the Fissure. Going to get him 4 creep waves. He is getting so close to the Blink Dagger. Invisibility picked up by Void, and Night Stalker's going to realize it's gone, and he will run away here. Are we going to get a hook? Oh, wow, that was close. That hook was so close. That hook was so close. Good hook by Kuroki, but quite not quite far enough. And he hasn't really gotten a lot of ganks off so far. He's gotten a few on the Windrunner on the top, but that's been about it. And hasn't really been playing a super effective Pudge. He is still positive, but you gotta land your hooks to make stuff happen. Oh, it's not worth it. And Tidehunter gets picked off. What happened to his face, dude? But a big pickup. Once again, Tinker nukes plus a ganking chase with the Night Stalker is a kill. Cynical, he has it, man. Radiant's Courier gets killed. It's an Observer Ward going to Lich. I believe that was in the Chronosphere. Chronosphereing on the Lich, and the Courier pick up a free Observer Ward. It's going to be on the Void. But even still, Void's still quite a ways away from his Battle Fury. And Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger. It's really dangerous. 15-minute Blink Dagger on Earthshaker. We're going to see him using Aftershock effectively. We're going to have multiple stuns going down on heroes. We're going to see Echo Slams. I mean, that alone, just being able to shut down Enigma really hard, blinking on him and ulting, something like that, especially if there's Eidolons there, it's going to do a lot of damage. And Black Shaitan continuing to solo, get a lot of farm, picks up a Soul Ring, which is going to allow him to move around the map a lot faster. He actually hasn't leveled up very much at all. He's been at level 9 for quite a long time here. But now that he does have that Soul Ring, he can contribute a lot more in team fights. Being able to spam Soul Ring, bottle, cast, Soul Ring, rearm, Soul Ring, bottle, cast, gives you a lot more volleys and missiles, at least 2 or 3 more. At least 2 more, approximately. Basically, if you can spend 150 mana to cover the rearm cost, all of a sudden your mana pool basically just covers missiles and lasers, as well as the bottle. Helps out a lot too. Ooh, rough miss there. He might leave rearm at level 1 for a while, since Soul Ring will end up covering it then. He won't have to lose 100 mana for the faster cast time. And he's going to start off the March of the Machines. It actually does a lot of low damage, but there's the nice missiles and fissures going down. Wow, Kuroki actually taking a lot of damage. Is he going to go on the Ancient Night Stalker? Night Stalker is going to be in a lot of trouble here. He does slow him down just a little bit, but Night Stalker going to be able to clean up this kill, unless he sacrifices himself to Roshan. That's what he wants to do. He's thinking about it. He wants to deny, but no, it's not going to happen. Chain Frost, ulti. There goes the Earthshaker dropping in. He's going to pick up the Tidehunter, and I think we're going to see AA die as well to the Lich. There's the kill. There's the chase by Faces Void. He has been feared, though. Still chasing after Cynical, but he will have a Blink Dagger shortly, and he's going to blink away. Possibly. Good teamfight win for the Radiant team. They did lose a Tinker, but they pick off Tide, Pudge, and AA. Did not score a kill on Faces Void, which is the important one, but still. Getting a 3-for-1 swing at this point in the game is definitely good to continue. There's a regen on Night Stalker. Still daytime. He has no night. He can nuke, but that's about it. Another nuke going down, 251 done to Faces Void. His backtrack not going to trigger there. And he's actually going very, very aggressive on the time walk and the backtrack. Not as concerned about time walk. Tinker going to the top lane, going to start doing March of the Machines, push this wave. He will be mid shortly in a second to help contribute. Will he be able to get the tower? Here comes the Chronosphere. He's going to catch 2 of the 3 heroes. Nice. That is so big. He's going to be able to get Frost Armor up on these heroes, which is already up apparently. Windrunner in a little bit of trouble, but there's the Nighttime by Musica. Are they going to back off? Hook goes on Leaf. Mistake by Kuroki, and Risk looks like he will survive there. Musica will go down though. Dismember from the Pudge. They're not going to be able to stop that. And Tide looking for a gush, but there's the rockets coming out of the Tinker. Will that be enough nukes? Tide is not going to go down, surprisingly. One more hit and he would have dropped. Earthshaker going to blink in and do a little bit. Going to do a lot of damage to Leaf. Will he backtrack? No, he doesn't. Cynical's going to survive. And now the Enigma in a lot of trouble. He gets nuked down. Chasing on the Ancient Apparition. This Night Stalker is full HP. That's an easy kill, but a nice hook out of Kuroki. He's just trying to keep him alive, though, and it's not going to happen. He's still going to get the kill. And he's actually going to save the Void. Rocket hitting a dead body. And a big team fight by the Radiant team. They have so much nuke right now. And they have a lot of viability. Night Stalker getting vision on creeps, Tinker launching missiles, even like the survivability of Windrunner. She does have the mech now. Recipe's going to be on the way. And Earthshaker, man, Blink Dagger, Earthshaker helps out so much more than a Tidehunter even. That's kind of the reason why Tidehunter started getting played more than Earthshaker, because his ulti can still be very useful, unlike an Earthshaker who basically needs epic positioning or a Blink Dagger to be useful. And Earthshaker is actually helping out a lot, getting big stuns off, 1.75 stun out of Fissure, and the Aftershock stun as well, just by using Enchant Totem and Echo Slam, which is now at level 11. He's very highly leveled. Pudge looking for a hook, actually going to miss Musica there. Nice dodge once again. Musica doing very, very well against this Pudge. Rocket's going to come in. Does a decent amount of damage. Once again, though, laser is pure damage, so it's going to go right through the armor, disable Musica in trouble. Now he's still going to dodge the hook. Are we going to see Tide ulti? There's the Chain Frost, going to bounce so many times. Wow, Tide goes down, doesn't even get the ulti off. Will Leaf? No, the Blink ulti from Cynical. His Fissure is a huge mistake. Doesn't hit anybody there, but it doesn't even matter. There's a hook on the Earthshaker. He does end up going down, but the laser and the damage. The Rocket's going to do it. Yes! Kuroki gets dropped 5 for 2. That Earthshaker Blink ulti was huge, man. Picked off so many heroes. Void goes down. Everybody drops. I love N9's lineup. I think the Tinker Edition is making a huge impact. Who cares if they have survivable carries when you can just drop a laser missile onto them? It makes a big impact. March of the Machine's now level 3. It's actually going to impact the creep wave a lot. It is mostly done, but what about that Chain Frost as well? Chain Frost on the Tide. Void puts a Void in a very squishy position. Tide doesn't even get his Ravage off. And the mid tower is going to fall as well here. I think, wow, Risk actually going to back off. Does not want to put the tower in deny range, but it's going to get it low enough so that the next push that comes through, the Dire team would be very, very unwise to try to defend that. And he's got the ultimate orb getting closer and closer towards that cheap stick. Enigma in the jungle to farm. He does have a Blink Dagger. Surprisingly, stopping at 3 demonic conversions, not getting the 4th level. But he does have more levels of Midnight Pulse here, which will make an impact in the team fight, especially in a Chronosphere situation. If he can drop just a Midnight Pulse on a Chronosphere, that's no different than doing a Midnight Pulse Black Hole, and he can do that from a bigger range away, so I think that's really smart. Maxing out the Midnight Pulse pretty fast. Another rocket coming through, going to hit those low support heroes down, and once again, they don't have regen for this, so they can't just keep eating those rockets. One really cool advantage of Tinker in this metagame. If you can do damage to the support heroes, they have to leave. And if you can do just free damage like that, shooting rockets across the map, it's a really good situation. There's the TP back. He's going to go back and heal once again, rearming. Muziga continuing to farm. He's going to have his ultimate in just a second. And this is another reason why they picked up Tinker. This is why he's also skipping the Vanguard. If he can get his Aghanim Scepter up and it's nighttime, he's basically going to stand within range of the enemy team, and Tinker's just going to launch the missiles over and over and over again because the Night Stalker has vision. So I think this is an awesome strat by N9. They picked this on purpose. They were very deliberate about it. They can even use the Windrunner power shots or the Earthshaker blink fissures, and wow, Tinker's actually going to get initiated on the top lane. Will he dodge the A ulti? He does get landed on him. It's a little dangerous here. He does need cooldown, but he basically has to run. If he takes 2 more hits, no, he will survive. Very, very nice escape by Tinker. Boots of Travel making a big difference. 95 movement speed helps him run away. And he's going to TP back out. Windrunner gets the tower on the bot lane. He's going for a Force Staff in a second here. And do we have the Aghanims coming? Is the Courier? Courier is at base. Night Stalker will have the gold, and there it is. There's all the items being purchased. Tidehunter with 4 Observer Wards. He does have an invisibility. He's going to run into some March of the Machines, taking a lot of damage. Look at that. He just took 200 or 300 damage. Each one of those guys, 40 damage. It is huge. Big damage there. And Dire Team just waiting for somebody to come by. Kind of a cool little strategy. They're actually waiting for the Aghanim Scepter and possibly to catch anybody that shows up. This is why they dropped a Sentry Ward down here. And there's the vision now for Night Stalker. They can most likely Roshan safely. Actually, they just spotted out. That was a Observer Ward coming out of Tidehunter. Was it? No, those are both Radiant. Okay, yeah, those are both Radiant wards. Looked like he was thinking about it. I don't know if he spotted one of them, though. And this is actually a Dire Observer ward, so that makes a big difference. I feel like I got my teams messed up. They're going to try to take the mid tower now. And here comes the tower. Are they going to be able to defend? Nobody is showing up. Tinker gets the last hit. They could still smoke within range of this Aghanim Scepter vision, but this is looking really, really sketchy for the Dire team. They're going to shoot so many rockets out of Tinker, and it's going to hit so many people. There's nothing they can really do about it. I mean, Tide just has boots with a wand. He is smoked up now. Him and Ancient Apparition. A actually has levels into his skills, which is good, but he needs to get up that level 2 ulti if possible. The damage done by that is very, very good. The Radiant team swinging towards the top lane. Force Staff even on the Earthshaker. This way he can blink ulti and Force Staff himself out. Frost Armor. That's another big impact. Frost Armor against a Faceless Void makes a big impact. Reduces that attack and movement speed. Night Stalker looking for an opportunity. He's going to scout out the entire enemy team. Tinker is going to start the rockets. Here they go. Rearming Soul Ring rockets. Only getting 1 rocket on the second volley, but that's going to put Tide into low HP, 400 HP on him. And the entire Dire team has to back up. There's literally no way that they can team fight or push. All that the Radiant team has to do... Oh my god, he scores an Illusion Rune. I've seen this so many times recently. Look at the vision for the Radiant team. Just spread these guys out. You can see everything. It is ridiculous. So basically, if the Dire team gets ready to defend a push or anything like that, all that N9 has to do is get vision from a Night Stalker, and then just spam rockets until they're low enough where they have to back up. So they can easily take any of these outer towers from here on out, or possibly even a Roshan. Just easily take them, because they can just spam the rockets on them. It's going to be really, really tough for the Dire team from here on out. They still could get farmed enough with their Void. He still doesn't have his Butterfly, or I'm sorry, his Battle Fury, which makes an impact for sure. But man, this would be the time to Roshan, in my opinion. Perhaps. Enigma's actually on the bot lane, really. Night Stalker coming for him. Here comes the fear, and there's the slow. He can't blink for 3 more seconds. He lost his opportunity. He should have blinked as soon as he got feared. He's going to pop the Malefice and maybe blink out here. That's his only chance of surviving. There it is, but it's not going to be enough. Enigma does go down, and now AA is going to be in a lot of trouble as well. Risk backing up, fearing the ulti from the Tidehunter, which will go down. He does get the rearm off effectively, though. There's the rockets coming through, going to clear up, and Earthshaker actually going to miss his stun on the Pudge. But it doesn't matter. They just picked up 3 heroes for nothing. I can't believe Enigma got picked off there. Why was he pushing the bot lane and he decided not to TP out? I think that was a big mistake. Radiant team going to take their opportunity here and now take the Roshan. Tinker's going to continue TPing and pushing the lanes back. He actually does have his Sheepstick finished. And there's the rearm. Going for more March in the Machines. Ella is going to slowly but surely take out the Roshan. They don't have a ton of damage, surprisingly. There's the hook. Wow. Completely going through Roshan. Very, very unlucky hook there. I can't believe it. They actually pulled Roshan back a little bit, so that was the problem. They pulled the Roshan back a little bit. Pudge just got really unlucky. But the A ulti is going to do a lot of damage. Was that a 1 or a 2? Probably a 1. Yeah, just a level 1 ulti, but still doing big damage. And there's the mech going to heal them up. Where is Tinker at? Tinker's at base. He's going to be TPing to the mid tower. He does have a Sheepstick. And there's the Force Staff by Risk. Nightstalker getting vision for them. They will attempt on the Roshan a little bit more here. They want to pick that up. I think if Tinker is in position, they can shoot the rockets. You know, that's another good point, though. They definitely could see the Pudge hook coming, so they wouldn't have gotten hit by it anyways, if they were paying attention. Which I expect they were. And are we going to see a smoke? There's actually a pipe on one of these guys. That's Kuroki. There's the smoke. There was a ping. Oh my god, they had a ward right on that. They had a ward right where they smoked. They know they're there. And Nightstalker's going to make them visible. He's going to dodge the hook. He knows that they're there. Such a good play out of N9 so far. And here comes the rockets. First rockets will land down. Going to hit on Void. There's another rocket coming down, getting hit on Void. Again, he doesn't backtrack it. And this is all they have to do. Scout out their position and launch rockets, man. They're going to take the Aegis now. Will they be able to react? AA ulti is going to come in. This will hit them pretty hard. He does do the rockets, but he's outside of range. And Tide coming in. Tide thinking about it. He's within ulti range. The Chronosphere doesn't hit anybody, but Tinker runs back into it. He does sheep or faces Void in the meantime. The Chain Frost coming through. Gonna start bouncing. Going to Ancient Creeps. Pipe is gonna lower some of the damage of Musika trying to pick off the Enigma. If he can get the Enigma, that's gonna be huge for the team fight. And he, oh, so close. Kev is gonna end up surviving. He will blink away, most likely. And he does blink across. Good play by him. But the Radiant team cleans up. Tide goes down. Pudge goes down. Void had to try for that Chronosphere, I think, but unfortunately for him, the regen. Wow, Nightstalker going to keep chasing this. He's not giving up. Okay, he's giving up. The Radiant team going to go for the Roshan, and they're going to pick it up nice and easy. N9 playing such a tactical and smart game. I love their gameplay so far. Windrunner will pick up the Aegis. Has the most utility out of their team. Tinker definitely can make a lot of stuff happen, but he can always buy back and TP back to the team fight. Windrunner needs to stay alive more often. Definitely going to be doing more of the semi-carry. Despite Nightstalker having a very, very good item, he doesn't do that much damage. He doesn't have a ton of utility. I think Windrunner is definitely the smart choice here. And Earthshaker up to 1,000 gold. Will he start an Aghanim Scepter next? Faces Void, thinking about going in, but he doesn't have Chronosphere. Really sloppy Chronosphere coming out of Leaf. Very uncharacteristic play out of him. Lich picking up a Ring of Health now. Will he go for a Vanguard? Maybe a Pipe. Could see a Pipe coming out of him. I think that would be really smart. I could see a Pipe. I think Nightstalker can go for Black King Bar, which is really smart. Gonna keep him magic immune. Tinker continue to farm. He has an ultimate orb. What is he gonna get? Maybe a Manta style. Maybe, I think probably gonna be a Manta. And you may be a little curious why anyone would get a Manta style. It's basically because Tinker is pretty much about pushing in a lot of ways, pushing and ganking. So every time he teleports to a lane, he can rearm himself, pop a Manta style to make illusions of himself. And since he does have a lot of intel from his other items, his illusions would do pretty decent damage. So I think that's what he's going to be getting. It's going to give him a lot more survivability in team fights as well, just because he can split off if he does take a debuff, like an ancient or an ancient apparition, cold feet or something, or even a Tidehunter gush. Leaf will continue to farm this. A little scout out by the Nightstalker. And 9 does have a big tower advantage. They actually have 5 towers here. Let's look at the gold graph. 15k, looking really good. They can still come back from it. They do have a hard carry. If they get a BKB on the Void, that's going to make a big impact. But still, they do still have a sheep stick on the Tinker. And that's the best counter to any hard carry. I don't care what you're saying. Tinker is probably the best hard carry counter for that reason. If he gets the sheep stick, he can side the Vice the guy, he can rearm. He can side the Vice the guy, he can rearm. Over and over again. Void is not going to be doing any damage here. Risk is going to do some auto attacks to the tower, just lowering it down a bit. Void is in position. He's going to take a few hits. There is the Force Staff on Windrunner. I expect him to Force Staff as soon as we see a Chronosphere initiation. And Earthshaker in a very good spot as well. They're not going to know where he is at, and he's going to be ready to do any ultis or fissures that his team's going to require. Pudge going to be looking for hooks as well. Good observer ward by the Radiant team. Just outside of range of the most commonly warded, counter-warded spot in the game, basically, is this tower, or this hill right here. So they place it outside of that range, and that's going to spot out Pudge looking for hooks. I think that's really smart. And 9 going to back up. Do they have a smoke or something? Or are they going to roll in? I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do here. I don't think they have a smoke. Tinker will be rearming, getting some more mana and coming on back. He's got 2k gold here. Maybe he should sell his mantle and get a Yasha. I think that's... I guess no, he wants to buy back though. He doesn't want to buy right now. Yasha's not going to swing the battle for them. Buying back would swing the battle for them. March of the Machines there. Someone gets hooked. It's actually even on the Night Stalker. He does ulti here, but he's completely trapped in. Perfect place from Kuroki, but the trees get broken. Muzuka may end up dying. There's the ulti, and that's going to be it for Night Stalker. He's definitely going to die. Big initiation. Risk does get Chronosphered on, and RBC the Sheep. He does sheep. Another mistake out of Tinker, but luckily the Chronosphere does run out. Shackle Shot goes down on him, and I think, yes, Tidehunter will drop. Earthshaker almost about to get the fissure off. Will he get it? He keeps getting stunned, and Kuroki now definitely also going to die. 4 heroes are up. Night Stalker buys back, and since he's so fast, dude, wow, already back in the team fight. Void backs out, despite the really perfect initiation. I love Kuroki's positioning. If you look at the trees here, it makes a little alcove, so if Kuroki hooks a guy from right here, it traps him into the trees, and that's exactly what happened there. He was unable to run away from that.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
Really great play from the Dire team, but that's all they could do. N9 was at such a big advantage. Even after the chain initiations, Windrunner almost going down as well. Tidehunter got a good ulti off. It did not matter. Tinker did not need to buy back. He got his abilities off, got to sheep the Void during the Chronosphere.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Dire team thinking about going in, but they know they can't do it.
Dire's top tower
It's going to be an
is
Ice
under
Vortex.
attack.
And it is daytime now. Night Stalker going to be in a lot of trouble. His Aghanim's not going to be useful anymore. He's got to wait a long time. Are we going to see another Chrono? He's actually got a cooldown. There's a bash going on him. And there's the Black Hole going to catch Risk. And Muska, the A ulti coming in as well. Are we going to see the Anchor Smash? Yes, a lot of AoE damage going down. Risk gets picked off. Muska, nice hook by Kuroki. And Windrunner may end up dying. We will see. The Radiant team going to still fight this, though, I think. They still have the possibility. Snoopy taking a lot of nukes. He's in a little bit of trouble, but Risk going to clean up, possibly on the Faceless Void. Backtracks on the stuns. There's a chain stun going on by the Earthshaker. That's it for Pudge. Pudge goes down. Pipe is popped. Lich drops due to the Tidehunter, and the laser will clean up. Leaf gets sheeped once again, and a couple auto attacks. That might be it for him. Is he going to live? He does backtrack out. 40 HP. What killed him?
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Tinker killed him with something. I don't know if... That was weird. That was really weird. I do not know what killed Tinker there. I'm sorry, what killed Void. And they still win the team fight. Once again, perfect initiation. Windrunner loses the Aegis, and Night Stalker does get picked off. I think those were the two heroes. And even still, they fought 3v5 and still took the team fight. Or I guess it was 4v5 when the when Windrunner came back up. But top Rex is gone now. N9 in a huge advantage. 34 minutes into the game. 20k and climbing still. And this is all because they kept their towers up, first of all. Looks like mid tower did fall during the team fights, but still. Kept their tower advantage. They have a 4 tower advantage. That's 4k right there. And they kept harassing the enemy heroes, which means they weren't able to farm. Actually, Earthshaker going to pick up a Mystic Staff here. Is he going to go for a Shiva's or a Sheep Stick? That's what I'm curious about. He picks up the hood of or the cloak. That is very smart. Going to help him out against Pudge and a lot of these other magic casters. But is he going to get a Shiva's or is he going to get a Sheep Stick is the real question. He might get a Sheep Stick. That's going to help shut down the Faceless Void. If he gets a Shiva's, though, he's going to be obscenely hard to kill by the Faceless Void. He still could die to magic damage because his HP isn't that high. But a Shiva's will go a long way to reducing, or go a moderate way to reducing Faceless Void's attack speed at least. He's not attacking that fast right now. Fierce Lincoln Sphere picked up on Tinker. I did not expect him to get this item, that's for sure. I thought it was going to be a Manta, but it was actually going to be a Lincoln Sphere. So this is going to give him more mana, a lot of mana regen, which is also important. He's got 50% from Soul Ring, 150 from Side of the Vise, 150 from Lincoln Sphere. I actually like this item build a lot. Most Tinkers just rely on a single Side of the Vise, but how much mana regen is he getting? 24.5 mana per second, plus he has a Soul Ring, plus he has a bottle. So this means that he's going to be able to fight longer and harder. He doesn't have to worry about going back to base when his mana runs out, because he can just sit there and get 24 per second. And he picks up another Mystic Staff. That's going to boost up his mana regen even higher. Percent base mana regen is based on his total intelligence, and he's most likely going to make a Shivas with this. So that means he's going to be able to do a lot of spells every time he rearms, and I love playing Tinkers in this position. It is so fun to play them. You can cast so many spells upon each rearm. Faceless Void does buy a Black King bar, which is going to change the team fight a lot. He won't be able to be sheeped anymore. And Musica is still going towards that Black King bar, but he's a little underfarmed. What will Earthshaker make? That's the real question. He's going to be a lot closer and easier for him to pick up a Shivas, that's for sure. It's a much less expensive item. It'll give him a lot more survivability, but his offensive capabilities will be reduced. Where you at, Tinker? What you got? 9k gold, or 900 gold. I wish he had 9k. There's an urn on the Tidehunter. Dire team knows they have to keep turtling this. They can't leave the base. They are so underfarmed. Look at this Ancient Apparition. 36 minutes. Wand Boots TP. That's all he's got. Picking up a Chilling Touch. He's only level 10 here. Really rough game for him so far. And here comes N9. Tinker's going to TP in. Looking for the initiation. It is still daytime, so no sight from the Night Stalker. Rockets come through, hitting 2 heroes. There is another cast. He's going to Soul Ring, rearming. 28 mana per second, no hook landing. More damage on the Enigma, no Blink Dagger for 3 seconds, but the tower's down. That's the important part. The ulti from Night Stalker is going to give vision of everybody. The March of the Machine's coming through. They don't want to take the damage. Faces Void looking to go in. He's thinking about it. Not quite ready. He does take the fear. Down at half HP. The hook. It's going to land on Night Stalker. That's going to be an initiation Dire Team looks for. What the nice Shackle Shot. Going to catch 2 heroes to one another. Power Shot come through doing damage. Earthshaker going to clean up. Will Leaf go down? He does go down. Kuroki almost dead as well. Tidehunter ult as he dies here. And Tinker will continue chasing this. Sheepstick is on cooldown. We're going to see a laser though. Here comes the March of the Machines. Here comes the Sheepstick, and there it is. Sheepstick Enigma drops, and the arrow, not the arrow, the missile picks off Pudge. Good game is called by the Dire Team. They know this game is over. What a great game. Awesome strategy out of N9. Just pairing together the Tinker and the Night Stalker, getting that Earthshaker, their really fast Blink Dagger, and I loved their playstyle here. N9 played so well. I think they did a really, really great job here. And Tinker did purchase Shiva's Guard. That was his next item build. But will Earthshaker buy something? That's the real question. It doesn't matter. They're going to roam up the mid lane and take out that tower. There's the Shivas. There's the March of the Machines. Shivas is such a good pushing item. And he is so survivable right now. 30 mana per second. That is so much mana. Plus he has a lot of survivability with the Lincoln Sphere, blocking a lot of these spells. I love Shatan's item build this game. It was very, very smart. I love the Lincoln Sphere. I think that was a really good idea. Instead of giving him immediate Shivas, he picked up the Lincolns. They did have mostly spells. Actually, Void's gonna go through, picks off the Earthshaker, and then he runs. Get out! Leaf is happy about that one. Saying bye bye. One small advantage. The nukes, man. The nukes. Oh, he gets hooked. That's it for Shatan. Or... wow, he's still alive. Alright, that's it for the game, guys. Thanks for watching. An awesome, fun game between N9 and Left Just for Tournament. J4T is their name. Really cool strategy out of N9. That was really fun. I would love to show people this replay. If you guys tell your friends about it, I'm going to have it on the VODs for sure. It is getting recorded, so I think that's about it. I think we have another game coming up in a second. Let me check quickly. If we look at Gosu Gamers. We have Navi versus J4T coming up shortly in 31 minutes. which is the game that the dire team that we just saw play in LLL versus N9 is also in 30 minutes. So I'll figure out which game that I'm going to be casting. Most likely going to be wanting to cast Navi if that's possible, but don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a minute with more games from the defense. My name is Purge. I'm casting for Ghosty Gamers. Thanks for watching.